Monroe County
Sorry.
Industrial Development Corporation. We need approval of the minutes for the April 10th meeting, 2024.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Is Kevin here?
Yes, he is.
You're on, Kevin.
Where was I stand?
So I passed out his reports, they're not in your packet, because for some reason, Kevin's emails don't come through to me anymore. They don't happen. So he had sent them an email, which, so they weren't, that's why they're not in your packet.
Not my fault. So I'm going to start with the March report. Covering our visits between the 1st and 31st of March. We made 4 monthly site visits during that period. We had 2 follow-up visits. Check with residency with 240 workers. We had 10 non-compliant. Those were all no proof of residence. There were 3 new MCIDC signs delivered, all to University of Rochester's new tower project. So that is from March, if there's any questions about that. All good? All right, so then I've got April, covering April 1st through April 30th. We made 3 monthly site visits during this period. Had 1 follow-up visit, checked residency with 120 workers. Only 1 non-compliant, also no proof of residence, and there were also no signs delivered during that period. Questions? Okay.
It's up to me.
You guys have a great day.
Thanks, Kevin.
How about it?
Yeah. Greg, you're on.
Okay, financials through April, pretty quiet month. You can see our cash and our investments there. Cash balances really represent our checking account and money markets. We have about $600,000 in, and then the remaining, 250, actually 350 is in the micro loan account that we keep to handle our outgoing loan. So all good there. You can see our investments, our T-bills. We did have one that matured in April, I think after our meeting that we did re-up. And so our schedule right now basically is a T-bill every 3 months. Right now going out into, right now we're buying out into October of 25. So at varying rates, we're trying to ladder those, continue to ladder those, anywhere from 4.7 to 5.3 are the rates, and obviously in this environment it changes pretty quickly, and any excess cash we'll look to maybe continue to put in there, but that's the plan with respect to the Treasury investments. You actually won't see the investment that we had on our books that related to the Trillium investments. We did receive the K1. The K1 showed that our capital was 0, that it's been dissolved. We obviously reached out for further clarification on, okay, what does that mean? I mean, and I think that the answer is that there are investments still. The investments are being or contribute to what they call like a liquidating trust. With respect to that, again, still not knowing everything that's part of that. We made a determination that at this point we didn't appear that there's much value there, right? So that we wrote those down in 23 at the end of 23. We took a loss of about $117,000 to really write those down. We still own it, right? So that doesn't mean like, hey, we're just forgetting about it and we're writing it out. Like, we wanted to get our balance sheet a little bit more conservative, right? There's no reason to have an asset on the books that we may not be able to realize for $117,000. We still own it, certainly when we get more clarity on what those investments actually are and what those turned into, which hopefully will be, I would hope, hopefully in the next 30 to 60 days, trying to get some answers out of some folks. We'll present that back to you, but that's kind of where we stand with that.
Are the same people run that?
Yeah, but again, as the activity has has diminished and all that other stuff, you don't always get the same person you're kind of talking to, right, Phil? I don't think it's top of mind for many. So we're not always getting to the same person year after year, and it's like, okay, maybe we're losing a little bit in translation, and it's just like, hey, we'll let you know when we have more information, and we'll certainly let everybody else know when we get that. In terms of our, again, revenue and expenses, again, you can see from everything's pretty much tracking. I think the big difference there is really that microloan grant income, really, which is just what we get reimbursed from the county when we issue those loans. That's just fallen a little bit behind, but I think as we hopefully step up marketing efforts here over the next 2 to 3 months, and that'll pick back up, and certainly with the reduction of that interest rate, we do anticipate more of those, getting more of those into the system. Again, overall, like I said, I think our expenses are pretty much on track. Our loss is quite a bit less than it was last year, and certainly, pretty good compared to where, if you take into account our microloan grant income, if you normalize that, we're in a pretty good spot. And our balance sheet's strong, which we keep talking about, right? We have a lot of opportunities to do a lot of different things, so more good things to come.
Any questions for Greg? Just a comment on those investments, trying to get the right persons to communicate with us so we can determine what and where we're at in the process. It would be my understanding that if we have investments, there's a process that should accompany those investments as to how you check on them. Wouldn't you say, Counsel?
Yeah, you should have rights in as a investor to obtain information on the performance.
Yeah. And I think we should use that other than just trying to use a phone call to run it down. If there is a process, I think we should pursue it, at least so we can have some answers and not maybe have to wait around.
Okay, I think I would just say when we acquired these investments years and years ago,
right,
we did get a lot of detail, right, in terms of, hey, we got a tax return, we usually got some sort of summary, and then we got a compilation, more of a complete financial statement with significant footnote disclosures and notes, which explain the detail of the investments. Well, 2 years ago, they stopped preparing financial statements. So when we look at the tax returns, there's not a lot that you see besides zero revenue and all of expenses. There's no detail, there's no support, any of that. The financial statements used to provide us, but based on where the investments are, we obviously decided not to continue to prepare financial statements anymore. And so I think if we do anything further, like if we do any future investments in this type of area and anything else, yeah, I think it's certainly part of the process should be what is our we certainly want to have an obligation to provide or receive information at our request.
So I guess the question is for us, what is it that we want from this investment, and what is it that we want to know?
Yeah, we really want to know what the underlying assets are, and what the value of those are. Again, there may not be these aren't publicly traded securities, so it's not a readily available, hey, this is worth X, but trying to really figure out, hey, what is that, and what's the value of those? And again, if it's we own those, we wrote those off from a financial statement perspective, but we still own them, and if there's an opportunity that, hey, maybe it's worth $50,000, and we thought that we could sell them and to get something for them, we may, but again, until we have what those assets are, I think it's hard to say right this second.
So do they still have active investments?
There still are investments.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I think the last that we knew they were convertible notes related to Auction Direct.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Are we able to get our money back?
Doubtful.
Doubtful.
Okay.
Put it in perspective.
Are we a limited partner in the investment?
Yeah.
With no voting or anything?
No.
Put it in perspective. The bank, when I was there, right at the beginning, just like MCIDC, invested, wrote it off the first year.
Wow.
Well, any more questions for Greg? So, executive committee, met, I think today, to discuss, about the, proposals, from BOCES. We're gonna need to go into executive session, to discuss, these proposals and,
Not the BOCES.
not the BOCES?
You can do the motion for the BOCES one now.
Oh, I'm sorry, okay. So we have, Monroe, One Educational Services, the same. What was the, recommendation from the executive committee on all of these?
It was, we approved them, both of them recommended.
Okay. So, we have folks here to present those, proposals from our board?
We told them they didn't have to stay.
You tell me what to say? Okay.
They did
They're
very
all
good
groups, yeah,
presentation.
and they're all groups that we currently have budgeted,
All right.
so they're not new to us.
So, motion to approve up to $40,000 for the same program in the summer of 2024. Monroe, One BOCES and Monroe Two Orleans BOCES for 1 year.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay.
Are they asking for more than 40,000? One says 20, one says 24.
Yeah, that's how I'm reading that.
I think the 40 is gonna be split between the two?
Correct, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. The next motion is to approve $82,000 for Monroe BOCES 2 CDL license Class B training program to complete 4 cohorts in 1 year. I don't know how big the cohorts are, but they usually have 4 of them.
Yes, they do.
And they have the results in there.
We have 9 to 10.
Right.
This is all automatically a good program in terms of
Yeah.
workforce.
They had 81% pass on the road tests after going through it.
So we need a motion to approve that.
Motion.
Need a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
And for your benefit, they have a plan to try to increase that 81 even more. So they did a nice job presenting.
I think this is money well spent here for
They're
that.
very reliant on and grateful for MCIDC's support as well.
So, let us move to executive session. We need to go to executive session to discuss financial information for a particular person and corporation.
I'll move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Got your room clear, huh?
Do you want to do, why don't we do the
First motion is to approve, well, we're talking about this before, the $60 million tax exempt bond financing.
Yeah, we can talk about we can approve the 504 loan, or we can, the consent for the conflict waiver.
Let's
Do it after.
approve the 504 loan first, and then we're gonna go back to the,
Okay.
I move that.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So move.
I have to abstain.
Yeah, I got
please.
that.
Okay, all right. Is it because of your age or what?
No, the bank.
Way to go. All right. And then, we've got to have a motion to consent to the terms of representation of Nixon Peabody in regards to the potential bond transaction.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Now let's talk about the bond.
So we have an application for a tax exempt bond issuance for the benefit of St. John Fisher University for an amount up to $60 million. The plan of finance is to use approximately $30 million to upgrade and modernize the Laverly Library. And then the rest of the proceeds would be used to refund prior Monroe County IDC tax exempt bonds, the 2011 bonds, the 2012 A bonds, and the 2014 A bonds. So that's how we get from the $30 million construction project to the potential up to $60 million tax exempt bond issuance. The total project costs are about $63,615,252, and they currently have 752 FTEs. They're not anticipating adding new employees, just for the refunding of the debt and the upgrading of the library. And what you have before you today is a bond authorizing resolution, which would approve the financing.
Any questions for Barry?
Is it pretty standard to like use a new bond to refund older ones that are getting like close to maturity?
Yeah, in this case, it is typical for two types of reasons. One is especially for older bonds, there may be financial covenants or security that's pledged to those bondholders that you want to get rid of. They're obviously going to look when it comes time to actually market and price the bonds to make sure it makes economic sense, right? That you're getting a lower interest rate, getting better terms, and if that makes sense, that's why we approved the refunding. There's no guarantee that they'll refund all of those bonds, but they want the ability to go out to the market, see if they get better terms, and make sure it makes sense for economic refunding reasons.
Thanks.
Yep.
Any more questions?
Yes.
Yeah, we do.
Hello. Any questions? My name is Mark Harris. I'm the Vice President of Finance and Administration at St. John Fisher, and I have my colleagues Diane Morris, Controller, and Brandon Cottrell, who will be our counsel for this bond. So, on behalf of the Board of Trustees and the President, I just want to thank this board for accepting the application. And with the proceeds for the application, it will really help us to bring the library to the next level in terms of monetization, specifically for students in terms of their success. So, based on what we submitted, the physical structure itself won't change. So most of the work will be on the interior itself, where we will design it in such a way where we add additional study space for students and classroom spaces. And then also upgrade the technology as well, which will do interviews, conduct significant research. So, given where this building is, really the center of our campus, and given the purpose and its use, it was time for us to really invest in upgrading and modernizing the library so that it can enhance our student success further.
I have a question. When is construction or site development already begun, or is it, when is it?
So the project started January of this year. It's an 18-month project with estimated completion of June of 2025. So it will be ready for fall of 2025.
Who is the construction manager?
Hamilton Stern.
Any other questions for Mr. Harris? Okay. So there's a motion on the table to approve up to $60 million tax exempt bond financing for St. John Fisher, renovation, modernization, upgraded furnishing, and equipping of the library.
I'll make it.
I got a second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Now, how you have this written here, $60 million tax exempt, this is all for the library, but you specifically said that 30 million goes to that and the other 30 million goes to.
Correct, there's a potential for refinancing 2011, 2012, and 2014 tax exempt bonds as well. The bond resolution lays out all of that. This motion, I think, is a little tight as far as the language, but it should note that the motion to approve the 60 million for financing is for the construction project and for the refinancing.
Okay.
I can have it back.
Yeah, it didn't say that, so please let us make that,
Change the language.
yes. And we're all good with that, right?
Yep.
So I'm gonna move to a drum roll for the parish report update. Hannah will.
Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. All right. Drum roll, please. Oh, yes.
One suggestion for future, I wouldn't have the borrower in the room while we're voting, because it could affect, it's like Donald Trump intimidating the jurors.
I hadn't even thought of that.
So we, for the tax exempt bond transactions, which are different than the SBA 504s, we need to vote in public.
Oh,
So we can't kick them out.
Oh,
Okay.
The 504s, we have an exception to go into executive session for personal credit reasons, but the way the public authorities law is set out for the tax exempt bonds, it has to be done in public.
they want to intimidate the jurors.
Yeah.
You make a good point, right?
no, I'm nervous. No.
No. So the parish report has been certified,
It has
right?
been certified and submitted. I'm pleased to report this past week, thanks to Robin's and Allison's hard work over the course of several weeks and months, and working several weekends as well. MCIDC's report is finalized. We're still working on Comita's report, so the work is not finished for Robin and Allison, but it is for this board.
Well, we really appreciate that. It sounds as though that you all were sandbagging, because the last time that we talked, you said you possibly wouldn't even see an end to this till around September or something. So, I don't know.
Wonderful.
These things every year takes a lot of diligence.
Yeah, the system requires manual data entry and,
Can't cut and paste, huh?
right.
You're telling me a New York State system doesn't move smoothly? Unbelievable.
Believe it or not, right?
Well, luckily we get to start on a new New York State system tomorrow.
Other business, Anna?
No other business. I just want to thank everyone for your time and commitment very much.
Well, that went pretty quickly. Need a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion.
All in favor?